Hello and welcome to Mastermind Growth, where we share the wisdom, the insights, and the stories from business owners. My name is John Cassidy Rice, and I have the pleasure to be your host for this week's podcast. I'm your local Federation of Small Businesses membership advisor, meeting and supporting all businesses from different industries. Today, I had the pleasure to have James with us. Hello, James.
Hey, John. How you doing?
Yeah, excellent. Thank you. Thanks for taking time out to do this. I know life gets busy.
It does. No, thank you for inviting me.
Right. So tell us about what you do, James, and your business.
What do I do? So I've actually got two businesses, which is really weird when I get to this point and just I'm a multiple business owner and I've got international clients. It's quite bizarre. I never thought of this a year ago or even 5 years ago when I started in business. But I'll tell you about one business I've got in particular, the longest one. So it's called Momentous, and it's very much focused on supporting individuals who are at a career crossroad. They maybe they've lost their motivation, they've lost their mojo, they don't know what they want to do, but they just know it's not doing what they're doing right now because it's not achieving their ambitions, it's not achieving the lifestyle they probably dreamt of having or thought they would be having, or maybe even promised to having. Or as we've seen in kind of these times we've gone through, people have been put on furlough, it's given them time to reflect. They may have been even unfortunate enough to have lost their job, and they're at that point saying, do you know what, I've got a gift here. I've got the ability and the chance to do something different. And they're the kind of people that I help and that Momentous helps. And we also help businesses, more on the smaller to medium-sized businesses who are looking to grow. They're looking to develop. They want to enhance the way they serve their customers, the way they communicate with customers. They want to enable the growing organization they've got, the increase in managers, the increase in teams to engage better together, to work better together, not only for themselves, but as an end result, better for customers and better for their business. So there's a variety of clients. We've got individuals who are in quite senior corporate positions through to people who have left or are ready to leave and want to go at their own and start their own small business. And then we've got businesses who are small businesses of kind of 10 or less people, franchise type businesses, or even some of them that are a bit bigger, quite well established, maybe even kind of not just in the UK, but abroad as well. So it's a real mix, never a dull day.
All right, sounds exciting. And before we find out more about that, I sense a bit of a story behind all of this. So you're happy to share some of your personal story with us?
Yeah, definitely. So I guess once upon a time, I was my ideal client. I was probably halfway through my corporate career, and I was ambitious. I wanted to better myself, and probably some of that was materialistically driven, as I think it probably is when you're kind of mid to late 20s, that stage of life. And so I was working. I was working too much. I was living in Kent. I was working kind of across the UK. I had a team that were dispersed around London, near Liverpool, Scotland, Leeds, kind of a bit of everywhere. So I would spend most of the week away, and I was very much a yes person at that point. Yes, I'll do that project. Yes, give me that. I'll do that. Yes, I'll engage with that team over there. And I assumed that at some point the little hand would tap on my shoulder and say, James, we've watched what you're doing. It's your turn to be promoted. It's your turn to be the manager of the team. And I very rudely realized that wasn't how it worked. As much as I needed to stick my hand up and show that I was ambitious and driven, I didn't have to say yes to everything, and I didn't have to put my body on the line, which is what I did. One Christmas, I literally woke up and essentially was head to toe in psoriasis. My body had just stopped, and mentally I was very strong. I wouldn't say that I was suffering from any mental ill health, but physically my body had just said, I can't do this anymore. Literally, I need to catch up on all that sleep you've deprived me of. I need to eat some healthy stuff. Go get some more exercise. I wasn't designed to sit in front of a computer for 14 hours a day. So, that was my awakening. And that was the point where my career changed, and I really stepped back and with the help of a coach, changed a lot of what I was doing. And the rest was history after that. Just did some really exciting stuff. Things like the Olympics, kind of launch of 4G as it was then. So I worked for a big telecoms company, as you might guess, to then working across Europe, helping with leadership development programs, talent development programs, spending a summer in Germany working on a big merger project. It was brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant. But I couldn't have done it without a coach just making me step back and think about the really important things, thinking about me, thinking about my life as a whole, not just as an employee. So when I ultimately then left about 5 years ago, I knew what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to help people who were in the same position I'd been kind of 8-9 years ago.
Right, fabulous. That's a powerful story, to actually sort of kind of raise out of that situation.
Yeah, and I think what's important for me is that, you know, when I'm helping people, and it's I kind of really make it clear on the website, is that we help people not only through our coaching skills and mentoring skills, but by sharing real life examples. Myself and you know, my business partner, who's also my partner, we've both gone through big corporate roles. She's been very senior in organizations at kind of director level, so she knows the demand, she knows the struggles, she knows the opportunities, she knows the highs and the lows, the same as I do of someone trying to grow through a business and, you know, and navigate my way through, you know, my career as I saw it. But we bring those examples, and that's the great thing. And people often say to me, so are you a coach or a mentor, or are you a bit of both? And I say sometimes, do you know what, it's a bit of both. I'm probably going to be a coach because I want you as a client to get to the answers yourself. But do you know what, if I need to swap hats and put a mentoring hat on and say, let me share a story of when I was at that position in my career to help you really understand that this comes from an honest place, that there is something after this, there is light at the end of the tunnel, then I'll share those stories.
Right. So rather than waiting to be in crisis, if you're in this situation, like being head to toe in psoriasis, so what are some of the warning signs that something's not going quite right if you're kind of feeling the pressure?
I think one of the warning signs, I think, and you've got to see it, that's the tricky thing, is when you're not juggling everything enough. So, you know, we're human beings and we juggle a career, we juggle a family, we might juggle being a parent, we're juggling being a partner, we're juggling some form of exercise, some form of diet and nutrition and so on. And we're trying to do it all to a varying degree, trying to be reasonably successful at all of it. And we can't do it all at once. You know, if you get to a position where you have that perfect blend of exercise, eating well, drinking lots of water, having time with your friends and family, and being really successful and focused on your career, you're brilliant. You're in a great position. But if you find that you're sacrificing something too much, you've got to see that that's happening. And for me, what I remember is the times where my youngest son would come in to kind of the office I had at home, like, you know, converted bedroom, and say, oh, you know, Dad, can we play Lego, or can we go out to the park? And I say, yeah, you know, there's one more email. And I wouldn't stop and go, why am I doing this on a Saturday morning when I should be going to the park with him or playing Lego with him? He'd go off and come back 15 minutes later. Have you done your email? And of course I've done it, and I've started another 3 emails. And I look back now and it just it almost fills me with regret now. I think, what was I doing? You know, it was so obvious. It was there in front of me. You know, my young son was saying, Dad, stop what you're doing and pay me some attention because I'm your son and this is the weekend and you're not being paid to work today. But I didn't at the time because I was so consumed in this was what I needed to do. So look for those signs where you're not present at home. You know, you're sitting on your sofa watching TV, but you're actually on your phone looking at emails, looking through LinkedIn, you know, whatever it might be. You're at the dining table in a conversation, but your head's not in the conversation. You're being very transactional. For me, they are the signs that you're not switching off and you're not being present in other areas of your life. And, you know, for some people that they totally ignore that, and it can disrupt families, it can change lives. Whereas I think if you see it early enough and, you know, you've got someone that will say to you, James, you're not being very present. James, you know, can you just switch the laptop off for a day and give us some time? Listen to that.
Yes. That doesn't only apply to corporate, that also applies to a lot of business owners.
Oh, totally. And I think people say to me, how much harder is it as a business owner to switch off? And I say, it's not actually that much harder because I've kind of got free reign. If I want to switch off on a Tuesday, I can switch off on a Tuesday if I've not got some client work. But invariably, I like to use the off time to do business development and think of other things I can do, or refresh training materials, or, do research and look at competitors and look at potential clients and that kind of thing. But I don't find it any easier or harder as a small business owner, because you've got the gift of when you are on and off, compared to a corporate life where typically you're Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. But I think the other thing is to listen to your body as well. And when your body says, I feel sluggish, when your body says, I'm too tired, I can't see properly, I just need to sleep, then take that time, rest when your body says you need to rest. Do the really creative, inspirational stuff when your body is on that high. When your circadian rhythm through the day is in that point of peak, that's when you should be doing really good stuff, not answering emails. So, do listen to your body, because that will guide you through your day and through your week.
Yeah. Well, every productivity research and just being the human research I've come across says that sleep is so important, but it's always the first thing that goes.
It is. For me, it's sleep first, exercise second are the two things that go. And I know when I get to a point at the end of the day when it's too late in the day and I'm trying to get that last bit of work done, and I think I'm taking an hour on this when it could be 10 minutes first thing in the morning. Or exercise is the thing, I think, I'll go to the gym later, I'll sacrifice it. But my view that I've always had throughout my career as a manager and now as a business owner is kind of to step back and go, what's the worst that can happen? And I think that's because of what I went through, getting that head to toe psoriasis is, if I didn't do what I'm trying to do right now and I left it tomorrow morning, what's going to happen? Like, no one's lives are going to end. Nothing bad is going to happen. It just means it's going to be tomorrow morning. And maybe I've just got to set my alarm 5 minutes earlier, or I just don't do something else tomorrow morning. But, if a real emergency came up, and I had to drop everything and go, well, I'll drop everything and go and I'll deal with it. So why can't I just be kind to myself and do that right now and just switch off? And, I'm only human. I'm only here once. So be productive, be amazing, but be sensible and be safe is what I say.
So if you're at that crossroads, whether you're thinking of leaving sort of corporate to go into your own business, or you're running your own business and the situation has kind of made you rethink everything, what can you start to do for yourself before sort of talk to somebody to get it in the right place to make some decisions?
I think it's an interesting one of what can you do before you talk to someone, because often it's kind of talking to someone that triggers the what can you do for yourself. And a lot of my clients, typically men, same age as me, kind of early 40s, mid 40s, will, when they first contact me, they say, right, you know what, this has taken a lot of courage and a lot of time to actually do this first step. And to, I've watched you on LinkedIn, or I've heard about you from someone, and, I thought about it a couple of times, but I've finally taken that step. And that's the best thing. It's just to say, I need some help. And I don't quite know where I need help, but I know I need to change something. So that's kind of the first step before you get into the depths of the conversation. I think one of the first exercises I do with people who are in this position, and so it's something that people can do themselves before they talk to someone like me, and it's something that I put on my website so that people can get to it for free, is to step back and think, right, what's going on in my life? If I take 7 or 8 key measures, like I just talked around, health, fitness, finances, friendships, family, career growth, etc. If I scored them from 1 to 10, with 1 being they're non-existent and 10 being they're exactly where I want them to be, they couldn't be any better, where are they today? Bit of like a circle of life is what I call it. Then they can look at that and say, okay, I'm being honest, there's some areas here that I need to improve. Which are the ones that are most important to me? They start to get that appreciation, that they increase their self-awareness of where they're at and where they're not at. An exercise that I think is really good is to look at your priorities. So I've got a template that's got about 30 different priorities on there, which could be things like sense of achievement, recognition, being creative, loyalty, family, friendships, whatever it might be. And to get people to rank them from high to low, just high, medium, low, and just tell me, for you, which are the most important and which aren't. And typically they'll score 10 or 11 as really high, and the majority of the rest in medium, and maybe 1 or 2 at low. And I say, great, okay, now take those 10 and narrow them down to 3. what are your 3 most important things for you, which challenges them. But when they finally get there, I say, great. So you've chosen family, achievement, and finances. They're the 3 most important things. I say, great. How's that going then? And say, it's not, because I'm getting that sense of achievement. I'm progressing my career, but I never get to see my family. And the finances are doing okay, but as much as I earn, I'm having to splash out in cash to keep everyone happy. But I'm never there. I'm never seeing my family. So I'm not getting everything that I've just said is important to me. So it starts to shine the light on where maybe something needs to change. And that's that acceptance. That's that first bit where they say, I've got an idea of what needs to change, but at this point, I don't know how. I don't know where I start with it. And I don't know, who I need to be talking to and how I make that happen. And that's the point at which, I can really help them.
Wow. So there is a light at the end of the tunnel where you can have a successful career and full achievement and have a family at the same time that you're indicating.
100%. It's 100%. And you've got to own it. You've 100% got to own it. And that doesn't change, whether you're in a corporate career, you've got your own business. I know because I've gone through both. And there'll still be times today where my partner will call me up on it, and she'll say, I know you're working really hard. You've had this big project coming up, or big client delivery. And I know you've had to focus on that. And so I've supported you in it, and I've taken away everything else that would distract you. But now I need you, I need you to switch off, and I need you to be present this weekend. And I need that, and I welcome that. I need that as the kind of a verbal slap around the face to say, right, yeah, you're right. Absolutely. Help me get the balance back. But it can be there. But, if you can be more self-aware, you know when you're in that right position, but have people around you, have a really good, close network of support around you at home, or really close friendships, or even work colleagues who will hold you to account a little bit and will help you, keep you on that right path. Absolutely.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So if there's somebody listening to this and they need somebody to keep them on the right path, maybe a verbal slap around the face, just somebody to talk to about what's going on, how would they contact you, James?
So they can reach out to me on LinkedIn, or visit the website, which is Momentous, which is momentus.uk.com. New website, it's just gone live. Really pleased with it. It's had a really new look and feel to it, a whole new lot of branding. So please do go and look at that. Check out what we do. Check out some of the free resources on there for you right now, and use that to get in contact. Excellent.
We'll put that information on our website as well.
Brilliant. Thanks, John.
Thank you for sharing your story and your passion and some great insights into sort of coping in, which is often quite difficult times.
Definitely. Yeah, no, thanks for inviting me, John.
Pleasure. So this has been a podcast for business owners by business owners. And until next time, see you soon. See you then, James.
Thanks, John. Bye.